Take a look at Vesta in the 3D view of Vesta Trek. Vesta is large enough to have achieved hydrostatic equilibrium as it formed. That means that it should have a nice spherical shape, but the 3D view of Vesta shows it to be far from spherical. It almost looks like a good part of the southern portion of Vesta is missing. That's because that is exactly what has happened. Approximately 1 billion years ago, an asteroid slammed into Vesta's south pole. The impact was almost fatal for Vesta, leaving a crater called Rhea Silvia that is about 500 kilometers across. Keep in mind that Vesta itself is only 525 kilometers across. Rhea Silvia is 19 kilometers deep, so this giant impact excavated material from deep beneath Vesta's surface. As is the case with many large craters, Rhea Silvia has a peak of uplifted material in its center. Rhea Silvia's central peak is very impressive, rising 23 kilometers above the low spot on the crater floor. To put this into perspective, Mount Everest, the highest spot on Earth, rises only 8.8 kilometers above sea level. To get a good view of Rhea Silvia, use Vesta Trek's south polar projection and select the color hillshade layer. The Rhea Silvia impact wasn't the only major cataclysm to strike this area of Vesta. Another, older, giant impact created Venenia crater, some 400 kilometers in diameter. The younger Rhea Silvia crater overlaps and has obliterated much of Venenia, but you can still see a portion of Venenia sticking out from Rhea Silvia. Again, use Vesta Trek's south polar projection and color hillshade layer for your best view. A parallel set of large grooves encircles Vesta along its equatorial region. At up to 20 kilometers across and 465 kilometers long, Devalia Fossa is comparable to Earth's Grand Canyon, 446 kilometers long and 29 kilometers wide. But Devalia is just one of a series of similar features arranged in parallel along the equator. Explore them by using Vesta Trek's search function to take you to Devalia Fossae. What caused these giant chasms? An important clue comes from noticing that they are concentric to Rhea Silvia crater. These seem to be fractures caused by the impact that formed Rhea Silvia. Another system of similar grooves can be found to the north of the equatorial chasms. Not surprisingly, these are arranged concentrically around Venenia crater. Use Vesta Trek's search function to take you to the Saturnalia Fossae.